Gotta love this time of year. Only one can be champion. Let's go playoff racing.
I said, hey, oh, hey, there's no surrender. Let 'em hear my battle
This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
From the Australian Gold Country rises Mount Panorama. Traversing up the southern face, across the summit and down the eastern slope is a concrete-lined thin ribbon of asphalt, tying a couple very long straights, a pair of tough 90-degree left-handers, and a few other tricky curves to navigate, and you have the 4 miles of racetrack known as Bathurst, today's venue for the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Precision Racing League's Formula 3 Series, Round 5 of the Season 15 Championship. Now, the word of the day is attrition, and that starts with A, and that rhymes with K, and that stands for crash. In these open-wheeled cars on tap today, a driver's reward for crashing is a quick trip to the fridge for a Foster's because his or her race will be over. The words race hard, race clean will never be more poignant, and you can see why as all the Formula 3 action from green flag to Victory Donuts streams your way live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Hi, me kangaroo down, mate, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast camped by Billy Bog to bring you our Word's Eye View. Yours truly, Bill Soupson, joined by John Ambrose. John's younger sibling, Sean, is much older, apparently, as they tell me in the script. And he's the man in the director's chair with Dougie Beard providing the cameras. Don't play with my script. John, it's the best of times and the worst of times. This place really is a tale of two tracks, a flat, straight, and perhaps most importantly, unconfined section, contrasting with a tight, twisting, up and down, end your day in the blink of an eye kind of place. Your thoughts?
The Force is with us. Downforce, that is, and that will be needed tonight. No, I'm not your father, but I am here down under with Soup at Bathurst. The Mount Panorama Circuit in Bathurst, Australia is for the majority a public road 361 days a year, But for tonight, the PRL will try to tame this beast of a place in the F3 Dallara. With 23 turns and a length of 3.9 miles, look for the mountain to chew up some of these cars. For a look firsthand at the Marvel Wonder of Bathurst, let's go on board with the GSRC Dallara F3.
All right, we've got Kevin Santana and the GSRC F3, so let's do a lap around Bathurst. Hell Corner is incredibly important to the lap right off the bat. It's a simple 90-degree left-hander, but because it empties onto the mountain straight, you really need to focus on the best exit possible. Drivers will be using the draft to overtake, but if they don't get it done in time, you play a game of chicken into Griffin's Bend. The outside lane here lacks grip, so the passes the long way around rarely work. From there, you've got to set up for the cutting. The blind kink on entry makes it a difficult braking zone, and on top of that, the steep hill on the exit makes it critical that you carry as much momentum as you can. You see, as you fly through Quarry and over the crest through Reed Park, you won't be lifting for a long time. While there isn't much passing to be done in this portion, you can still lose essential lap time along these sweeping left-handers. Even McPhillamy Park is flat out. Before you know it, you've reached Skyline, and as you dive over the blind crest, you'll finally hit the binders and try to woe it up through the S's. Like most tightly sprung Formula cars, the F3 is not a fan of the dipper, where it'll be common to see drivers spinning. A couple more S's take you down into the braking for Forest Elbow, and you'll need to hug the right side for the proper racing line. Getting the car to slow up and turn in is especially scary with the wall being right at the edge of the track on exit. Much like the mountain straight, Conrad needs you to maximize the corner exit so you build up as much speed as possible. But at the end of it, you tackle the chase. The first apex climbs significantly over a blind rise, and you better be able to get back on the throttle quickly so that you can power through the second apex. That immediately throws you into the run towards Murray's. Occasionally, you'll see passes into here, but the bigger worry is the curb to the inside, which can upset the car. However, hopefully you've now finished a lap around Bathurst.
And there you have it, on board the GSRC Dallara F3 here at Mount Panorama Circuit. Tonight's race is brought to you by the Button Box. The PRL Formula 3 Series is brought to you by Apex Button Box. This season, all drivers who compete at least 8 races will be entered in a random drawing to receive a free button box. It is an Apex Button Box goal to be able to provide an affordable, reliable button box to those who do not have the time or materials to create their own. To find out how you can get your hands on one, check them out on Facebook at facebook.com/Apex Button Box.
And since Apex Buttons Box is such a great product, I want you to have the best chance to win that raffle. So here's what you do. Take your ticket, don't put it in all flat and smooth, wrinkle it up, and those ridges and folds will help push the other tickets away, and when they reach in, they'll pull out your name, and you'll be the owner of an Apex Button Box. Man, that would be good. I'd have mine programmed to put down a smoke screen and drop some tacks, and maybe in a ejector seat. But that's just me. Let's go ahead and look at the points now. Now, when we look at these driver standings, we're going to look not so much at the names that you see on there. You see Michael Overbay at the top and Jose Malbrand in second, David Holland and Christian Gitsko. Look at the teams that they're racing for. Notice you have Alpine Stars Geodesic sitting 1 and 2, and then you have Leadfoot Racing sitting 3 and 4. There's also a tie down there for that 4th position. Keep in mind that these are the 4 best races so far. They haven't started to take into account drop races yet, so you see a little slash by every driver's drops. When those start to play, take into account, we'll things shift around a little bit. Let's go ahead now and look at the team standings, and no surprise, you'll see that Alpine Geodesic Racing is on top. What's interesting, though, is whoops, and that doesn't look like we've updated that one, so that must be a mistake going on. We have the old version up there. Alpine Geodesic sits up there with, I'm going to give you the night number, 281 points, and Leadfoot Racing has 42. They're 42 back. Interesting that's going on for this season is they're using 3 drivers per team, which is unusual. Hey, there's the new graphic right there. Look at that. Look at how the graphic department, they wanted you to see that. Look at all those flags on there. Somebody took a lot of time to put 3 drivers on each team. Look at, you know what's interesting is you got Brazil, and I think that is Argentina sitting up there on top for Padovani and Mulletron in there with Overbay in the Stars and Stripes. Fun to look at. All right, let's pull that one down. Let's go to a graphic that's a lot less convoluted, and that's going to be John talking about the race details.
Soup, I think the director may need a brand new Apex button box to get
He
the right
does.
graphic. All
There's
right,
your
our
details.
our race details. Here we go. This is round 6 of 10. No, that's the wrong. Got the wrong. Okay,
And there's
this is
some-
round 5 of 10. Apex, if you're listening, that box can be shipped to P.O. Box 123, Green Valley Lake, California. Here we are. Car, Delara, F3. Setups are open. All these guys are using open setups, and we talked about the track in the early on of the show here. You have your ability of choosing between low downforce, high downforce, middle downforce. I think tonight these drivers are going to want middle and high downforce here. Race distance 45 minutes, 1 pit stop, incident cap 20. So tonight we're going to have a good race, hopefully a clean race. Soup.
I'm watching the dirt. There it is, boys and girls. We got it for. I would like to point out though how professional we are on it. At least we put up the same series that we had there for you. That was the PRL series. We have lots of PRL series. We have the ones on Tuesday. That's the GTE series that you saw there, where they have that going on. We have a truck series on Wednesday nights. We have this series on Thursdays. And if you like this one, I think we have the Cup cars on Sunday. So this is just a wonder. If you love the Precision Racing League, look for them here on 4 days of the week. Let's cross our fingers and see if the director can put up the weather, and we'll talk about that. Now, if it shows like pictures of starfish, then we know we're wrong. Nope, that's it. All right, John, what do you think?
Actually, a nice day today here in Australia, Soup. 69 degrees outside, track temperature 87. That'll be good for these cars and these drivers. So winds 11.6 miles an hour. You're not really going to have much of an issue with wind other than coming down that back long straightaway and up the hill. But through this mountain, well, wind will not be an issue here. It'll be more of the walls closing in on you.
All right, all the book work is out of the way. The last thing I want to talk about is the iRacing Esports Network. Let me tell you, the best of the best on the iRacing World Championships, as well as many top private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. Good news, folks. All the bookwork is out of the way, so let's get to the action that's taking place on the track. Qualifying going on right now. And this is a place where you don't want to be too far back, as it's going up the hill for the first time is always interesting.
Yeah, you talked about going up that hill, Soup. Getting through these high-speed S's is going to be an issue here. We see a lot of team drivers lining up back-to-back through qualifying here, hoping that they can kind of put their cars on the top podium.
And we look at Padavani doing really well in the points. Looking to have a good day here today.
Yeah, Soup, if I throw out the word glitter pants, I'm referring to Jefferson Padavani. That is the nickname given to this driver here from Brazil. So just know if glitter pants, we're not referring to you because you're stepping in this evening.
I know there are lots of backgrounds, things going on I need to know more about as we continue to watch them work their way down the hill.
We saw in practice earlier David Holland, and last week's winner, Andres Espinoza, were kind of leading 1-2 in the practice session. So let's see if they can put it up at the top. Currently, right now, Kevin Santana is in first with a 156.391.
Good to see Kevin doing so well. You talked about Espinosa. He's sitting down there in fourth, but he's quick.
Yeah, turning a minute 57. They've got 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So if these guys can get across the line, they can get another lap in here.
Yeah, this place, while pace is wonderful, you really just want to be careful on this one. I always look for a car that I feel comfortable in and that gets me to the end. One of the reasons you don't want to be too far back in the grid, John, is this place can actually have a blockage if there's a pileup up front. the road can be blocked.
Yeah, it could. And we're seeing about 8 drivers right now not qualifying, actually from 21st back, kind of holding their laps back. And as you pointed out, there's Holland.
Holland also having a good points run. Sitting 6th in the grid right now. All this going on behind Kevin Santana.
Yeah, that's actually not a good lap for David Holland, at least not what he showed in practice. And I think he'll be done. He's not going to be able to get another lap in.
Look at that beautiful Australian sky pushing down on the racetrack. It is a good day to go racing indeed.
I believe that ends it for qualifying. We have another 8 seconds, but I don't see anybody on the track here, Sue. Well, I take that back. We've got Overbay and Padavani on the backstretch here. Coming up to the chase before turn 20.
Try to get in their time if they can. Overbay's in the tow. This could be a good run for him.
And you saw Padavani there. He actually backed off before going into turn 20 to let Overbay get a good draft and slipstream by him.
Overbay finds himself on the outside of row 2. Mission accomplished for Michael Overbay. Here comes another driver doing really well in the team championship. That's Jay Steffi, brings it across the line. Jay's going to find himself just outside of the top 10, and that's going to do it. Let's go to the grid right now. On the front row, it is Kevin Santana. He's going to be flanked by Jefferson Padavani. Row 2 is populated by Michael Overbay with Daniel Zegers. Andres Espinosa is going to be in spot number 5, flanked by David Holland. One of the Montini brothers, Francisco, is in 7th position inside of Christian Gritsko. 9th and 10th, well, that is David Cristelli with Jerome Perfume outside of him in 10th.
In 11th, Sooth, we have Jay Steffi. On the outside of him, Marco Oliveira. In row 13, the Samurai, Takeshi Kita. And outside of him, Aaron Webb. In 15th, Andy Spicer. And outside of Andy Spicer, it's Charles Sumner. 17th, Joe Walker and Owen McLaughlin. 19th, Matthew Gunderson. And 20th, Daniel Barnett.
Now, all these drivers did not put in qualifying times. A couple big names down in here as we work our way through them. There's Mark Feil and David Hebert. Eric Luke and Daniel Duchesne is here with us. Ronald McManus is going to be in there as well as they took that away. The other names that are going to be down there, Tyler Gore and Nicholas Short, Lyndon Swaby as well. Time for everybody to grid up now. Glad you're with us here on the Global SimRacing Channel.
Well, Soup, it's been a while, but you do recognize some of these names. Do you have a pick for this evening?
Well, if you nicknamed the guy Glitter Pants, you got to go with him, right?
Yeah, Jefferson, he's a strong player. Looking for Andres Espinosa to have a good race, but during the interview last week, I believe Christian Gritsko, the Grits, said that this was one of his favorite tracks, so I look for him to have a good night.
Qualifying just wrapping up as they let the drivers have a little bit of the break before they had to actually take the grid, just in case somebody wanted to finish a hot lap out there. So now everyone gets out on track, and we're ready to go racing. Glad you're with us. Should be a good show.
Yeah, we talked about Francisco Montini. I don't see his here this evening.
Well, unlike the Ambrose boys, sometimes they don't always go together. We have only room for so many brothers on one broadcast.
We have Poncho, but we don't have Lefty. So hopefully Poncho maybe could have a better night tonight.
Poncho and Lefty. I like that one.
Sort of like soup and crackers.
It is indeed. We get ourselves a South American broadcast. We might want to think about putting them on. Hey, I love this shot. I'm going to roll by the grid. Few drivers still waiting to take their spots. You see those empty spots. We won't be going until everybody gets on out there. All the drivers want to make sure that John and I get our GSRC commentators bonus for getting the entire grid in before they go green.
That's right.
Camera goes underneath the walkover.
How does it do that, Soup?
Let's see. Got ourselves a little drone there. Back it goes. All the way back to the last car, Ronald McManus in the 26th position.
Well, Mom always said Sean was a drone.
That's a pretty looking car there as we take a look at Jefferson Padovani. Now those engines begin to harmonize. About time to get this show on the road. You know what to do. Oh, gather up the chickens, say cover behind the cows. One of the horses were out of the barn too soon. I think it is the pony that is Jefferson Padovani. I think, oh no, and he gets loose. He gets into Kevin Santana, and now they all pile up.
Overbay has the lead currently after that incident there in turn 1.
Will stay up front. Things go from bad to worse for Jefferson Padovani. He jumped the start. I think there was a black flag coming, then he got into the leader. Daniel Zegers goes wide through the corner. He's going to lose a position to Andres Espinosa now. Espinosa now up into second. All this going behind our leader, which is Michael Overbay, who's opened up a second gap on Espinosa.
Yeah, these guys really need to go here through these S's single file. They're doing that now, but it didn't look that way coming through 5 and 6 through Griffiths Mountain. Look for this long run here as they come out of that mountain, Soup, going down that long back straightaway and up that hill.
They work their way up the hill. Now our leader has reached the apex and is coming down on his way to Forest Elbow. Out of Forest Elbow, working the back straight. Michael Overbay with a nice lead, almost 1.5 seconds over Espinosa. This is a passing opportunity for these guys. Holland in 4th. I believe Montini's about to be taken over. Sure enough, as there's a pass for 5th. Christian Gritzko gets around him, move him up into the top 5. Montini dropping a spot. Through the chase.
Yeah, these spots 3 through 11th right now are fighting hard. We have the Samurai up 5 spots in 8th position currently. Charles Sumner in 11th. Good job by some of these guys avoiding that wreck in turn 2.
First lap is out of the way. A little bit of casualties that took care of our pole sitter and the driver on the outside of row 1 as we have lost the top 2 drivers. Let's go ahead and take a peek at that first lap incident before things start to heat up again.
Oh, we got an incident here. We've got David Holland hit hard.
Look, we're going to come out of that replay. We're going to come back live.
Holland had a hard hit in 13 and 14.
Currently in 21st
Out through the
position
S's.
now. We'll take a look at this one as we'll catch it. Holland was running in 4th position at the time. Boom.
Wow, he just quick on board here.
Gitsko gets around him. Montini gets around him.
You get behind these cars, Soup, you can't see what's coming up next, and I think that's exactly what happened here to David Holland. He just didn't know what corner he was going into and went just bailing through there.
It did appear that way. Now we come back live. We're going to get you that first lap replay when the opportunity prevails. But right now, here comes the man on the move, Christian Gritzko, making another pass. Going to pick up another position as he goes around Zegers. Daniel dropping down into 4th.
Yeah, we talked to Grits last week in his podium finish. He likes this technical track. He said this was one of his favorites. Look for him to have a great night. He's up 5 spots currently in third and picking them off.
Mark this down on your clipboards, all you little soldiers of the clipboard army. The gap between Espinoza and the driver in third is about 1.4 seconds and closing. Briscoe's coming. As the field works their way up the front straight now, this is a good opportunity for us to look at this. Now, watch the driver in second, Padavani. You'll see him jump first. I think he jumps to start. Keep an eye on it. You see him go before anyone else does. Whoop, don't want to go too close or we won't be able to know if he jumps to start. There, we pan out, and he's going to be going. Oh, he either got a really good start or he jumped it. But that's not the worst thing that happened. Right out of this left-hander, the car gets loose, and he takes out our pole sitter, Kevin Santana.
Yeah. Here we're back live. We got Michael Overbay currently still in first with Andre Espinoza in second with 1.3 seconds behind.
The driver that was in ninth position, why would we replay? We don't need to go there. Andy Spicer spun the car, and then he was pinned. Maybe we can get this, director. Oh, this is really... If we can get to Andy Spicer, if we're able to get this on a replay, it might be too far back. We'll see. What is interesting on this? Watch how after he spins, he doesn't hit anything. Oh, this is fine. Watch how he's stuck right here. This is after the spin, and he just has to wait. He has to wait. He has to wait. And then he dares the car out in front, and cars get behind him. Wow. And then he says, I'm going to take a tow. Nice job. Here's the actual spin. He was up in ninth at the time. I don't think the car hit anything. I think he took the tow just because he was in a precarious situation.
I think you're right, Soup. I think you would have had to wait another 2 minutes to get that thing turned around and be quicker to take a tow.
Kind of an I am Spartacus situation. They're sacrificing himself for the benefit of the rest of his competitors. Let's look at second position. We talked about Gritsko. Here he comes. He might be close enough right now on this long front straight to be in the tow. He's about 0.7 of a second back. Maybe he's a lap away from getting this done, but he's coming on Espinoza.
Soup, guess who turned the fastest lap? It would be the Grits at a 1:57.741, and he is in tow of the car in front of him, Espinoza, last week's winner.
He must be instant Grits. Because he's fast. See?
Matthew Gunderson in ninth. He's up 10 spots. Great run for that Canadian drug.
He started in 19th position. Has worked his way around drivers like Joe Walker and Owen McLaughlin.
Yeah, a lot of guys this evening that we don't really talk about much are having a good first third of this race here. Joe Walker up 7 spots in 10th, 11th. Owen McLaughlin 12th. Daniel Barnett, Mark File, Tyler Gore, Lyndon Swabby.
I am not seeing Grits. Something must have happened to Christian. Let's see where he is. Oh, he's way down in 4th. Did he make a mistake? He sure did. Right before Forest Elbow. Oh, and actually then he was collected. Oh, my goodness. Daniel Zegers got him too. He was right behind Espinoza. I went to check on him as they should have been coming around Forest Elbow. And so often as a race fan, he wasn't there. And he's, what happened? There's the spin. Now Zegers tries to make the move and he collects him. There it is. And another driver involved in that one as well. We'll go on board with Zegers. Not sure who that was behind him that ran into trouble. I'll see if I can find it. It might have been Kita. Okay.
Yeah, Kita currently in 4th position right now.
I think it was Francisco Montini who was involved in that one as well. He was in 5th position. He's now, he's still there. I'm not sure. Montini might have been able to survive that one.
Looks like the Samurai has some left front wing damage
Yeah.
there.
So, with Gritsko gone, that means Overbay and Espinosa don't have quite as much to worry about. Overbay right now not able to run away with this one. Let's check in on the leader, because here comes Espinosa coming off a win last time out.
Yeah, these are guys are what, 5.5 seconds over third. Daniel Zeggers right now doing a great job, just keeping it clean. We talked about it earlier about this mountain chewing up cars. Well, it's living up to its hype because it's taken a bite out of quite a few of them.
Overbay, Espinosa, Zeggers, so you can see the tower over there. Who's surviving? Kita having a good run. Another driver just ended his day. Daniel Barnett was racing in 11th position. This was an ugly one, right in front of Lyndon Swaby.
Yeah, Matthew Gunderson had an incident too there about 15 seconds ago. He's jumped down to 15th from 6th. Let's take a look at the Gunderson incident here, Soup.
Comes around and there he is.
Yeah, you've got that corner right there in the forest area that where that left front just leaps off the ground and has no braking traction to slow that car up, and it when it lands, it just wants to loop.
Let's see if we can watch a little bit of racing if possible. How about we check in on 4th position? I believe we're about to see a pass here. Here comes Montini. He's in the tow of Kita. Kita started 13th. He's up 9 spots. Montini up a couple. No pass made there.
Yeah, you really don't want to pass anywhere through this this section here, Soup. Look for Montini kind of just to follow the Samurai here through this series of high-speed S's.
Right on board with Montini.
You know, Soup, you talked about it earlier. Do you want to be close? Not so close? I mean, if the guy in front of you slips and has an incident and spins, you're probably going to get collected in that.
Yeah, it's funny. You were talking about it's not really the place to pass. Really, the only way to pass there is if there's a mistake made by the driver in front of you. And like you said, a lot of times you'd prefer that not to happen because you can get caught up in it. But this is a different story now as they come out of Forest Elbow. Now, if you're close enough, about 4 car lengths back is Montini. Now, setups are different. These are open setups, and of course, some of these drivers may have picked up damage on the front wing, so we don't know how much straight line speed they have. You would think that Montini would run him down, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Let's see what Montini does here through the chase of 2021 and 22 with that wing damage on the Samurai there. Maybe he can catch up closer. And he does.
He gets there, but a little bit late. He's going to have to wait to make the move. But again, he's close enough now where if he gets a good run out of Hell Corner, which is corner number 1, they go across the start-finish line here. Here's the first corner. Montini with a really good exit. Oh, this is done. This is a done deal if he wants it. He tucks in behind.
Well, if he's going to do it, he's got to do it now before they get up to the query there of turn 2.
Montini's car, I'm not sure he wants it. I'm not sure he wants to have it right now. He kind of didn't stay in line. He pulls out. I think he's happy in his position right now of 5th. Let's leave that battle. Go ahead, John.
With Lyndon Swaby and Mark File, they're currently 8th and 9th. Pretty much the same thing as Takeshi Kita and Francisco Montini, just kind of following each other, going through the mountain section here, going up into Skyline and then the S's.
File, a long-time veteran of the Precision Racing League, races in several series. Swaby actually went under a car that had an issue in front of him. He's lucky to still be out there racing. Up 13 spots to be in 8th. There will be pit stops.
Yeah, I want to capitalize.
we look at these 12 cars on the lead lap. First car that I see pitting is Gunderson, if my timing and scoring is right, but it's a little screwy right now.
Yeah, Gunderson had that spin there through the dipper forced elbow there, and I imagine he went in for some repairs. I want to talk about Tyler Gore, up 14 positions, currently in 10th. Right now, he's not battling with anybody, and honestly, that's a good thing. This Canadian driver's got a clean track in front of him and behind him. He can have a great finish tonight. Started 24th, currently he's in 10th. And he's coming down. Well, oh, he faked me.
We started with a field of, count them up, Soup, 28. I believe we have 13 racing out there right now. Andy Spicer, 2 laps down, is still on the track. Plenty of positions for him to vulture.
About 5 minutes ago, we were watching that battle with Takeshi Kita and Francisco Montini. They have settled, at least Montini has settled in just to follow Kita currently. So maybe they're looking for a pit stop here coming in.
Yeah, I had a feeling that Montini was a no. Oh, we have a blink away. Did he blink away? I'm looking at Kita.
Kita, the samurai, up and disappeared on us.
I was watching it when it happened. I believe it's he's at the Amelia Earhart Bar and Grill. I believe he has either hit his incident cap or has a bad connection. He's racing out of Chile. Don't want to make any stereotypical thoughts about the internet connections in that South American country, but that may have something to do with it. He is gone. I do want to know the backstory of why Takashi Kita is in Chile. There's a good story there.
Well, you know, he's got that AOL connection. Someone else that you can kind of relate with there, Sue.
I still use dial-up. That's why I'm having issues right now. So, another driver, and this was not the fault of Bathurst, bites the dust. Takesha Kita is gone. Overbay has not been able to drive away from Andres Espinosa.
This is an interesting points battle right now because we've seen our star drivers in the points we're all having a great battle, just have a horrible night here. This may be the drop race, Soup, that they're going to be using.
Yeah, one thing I like about I'm not a big fan of drop races, but it is kind of a necessary evil. One thing I like about the PRL, the Precision Racing League, is it is not plural. It is drop race. You get one. You get to go to your sister's wedding once. You get to have a bad event once. You cannot abuse the drop race. Can we check in on 6th position? This is Joe Walker being stalked by Lyndon Swaby. I think Swaby's going to get him. Swaby's pretty darn quick. Both these drivers up several positions. 17th is the starting grid for Walker. Swaby was in the blackjack position, and there's a surrender. Swaby,
yeah, if you're going to surrender, that's a great place to pull over and let someone have it. A great job by Walker there.
So with a small field, gives us an opportunity to maybe give a little spotlight to some of the guys we usually don't get to see. How about the driver in 10th, Marco Oliveira? All by himself. 13 seconds up to Tyler Gore. About a minute back to Matthew Gunderson, who's not on the lead lap. But Marco, good job.
In front of him, Tyler Gore, we talked about him earlier, up 15 spots into 9th position. So another Canadian driver having a great night.
It's interesting, this time slot of this race, which is on a weeknight in the U.S. It's on a school night. It's about 6 o'clock on the West Coast, about 9 o'clock on the East Coast. Works out great. Not so much for Europe, but it works out great for South America. And that's why we have so many South American drivers here. Really nice to see that. All right. Let's look at Michael Overbay and Andres Espinosa. We're going to take a little lap comparison, and you'll see Espinosa has just kind of been back there like Sting, just kind of stalking him every breath he takes. He's been watching him.
You know, Espinosa could be playing the fuel strategy. I mean, he's just kind of hanging back there, getting a sniff every now and then from Overbay, which will actually help him in that pit stop, taking less fuel. So this could be a strategy call here, Soup.
Very much so. Very, very possible. That's the way that's working out. Gunderson took a stop, but we don't believe that's in the window. Right on board with that would be Espinosa looking up at Overbay.
We'll go back now to 7th, Mark File, up 15 spots. Pennsylvania driver, currently having a great night. You see him there on the screen, just kind of minding his own P's and Q's, looking for that pit stop here shortly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. I think we're looking at Owen McLaughlin now. This is really our first, what I think is a scheduled stop here. Oh, it wasn't. It was Montini who came in. Montini makes a stop.
Yeah, that would be Francisco's third stop, pit stop there, or second pit stop.
So Francisco Montini in and out, though. He pitted from what would be 4th position. He's going to cycle out in 8th. So there's the leaders of all the cars who have pitted. We're not going to count Gunderson. Spicer, 2 laps down, has several pit stops that he has made.
Soup, have we talked about Daniel Zeggers, currently in 3rd right now? Again, another driver out there by himself, having a great night. His car looks really clean.
I think was able to dodge some of the incidents up in front. Having a good run. Our director was on something. Let's go back to 12th director. We'll look at this. This is going to be a pass, not for position, but it's between 2 guys that are just putting in some laps here. This is Andy Spicer, 3 laps down. And he's got Francisco Montini. Now, Montini, you would think, is all by himself, but that's not really the case. He's racing Zager. He's racing the guys who are on the other side of the track right now. Montini has made his stop. In the toe here. And Spicer's is going to take a nice straight line. And there goes Francisco. And the Argentine gets that pass made.
For our viewers, 1st and 2nd are still holding their pace. I mean, their lap times are pretty identical. We've got Overbay that last lap turned a 158.396. Andres Espinosa with a 158.582. Espinosa wishing he had a little bit of maybe transparent aluminum to lighten that car up a little bit.
Okay. I think we all wish we had some transparent aluminum. I think there's several uses for that. Not to mention saving the whales. Now, here's the deal. Espinosa, they all start with the same amount of fuel, but that doesn't necessarily mean they burn the same amount of fuel. Espinosa has been following Overbay for the first half of this race. Let's see if he's saving any fuel. Maybe he can do a little bit of a pass in pit lane.
Well, amongst the thousand things that these guys can change on their setups, there are three major factors with this F3 car, this Delara car. They have three settings. They have a low downforce, a medium, and a high downforce. And basically, it's just that. If you're running the low downforce, great top end speed, horrible cornering speed. So we don't know whether which setup these two are using right now. But Andres Espinoza, he is keeping that distance right at a 1 second gap, and you got to think he's running probably a high downforce. If that be the case, he could be burning more fuel than
Let's go. Let's go to. Sorry to interrupt. Let's go to fourth right now. I believe we have a pass, and it's a surrender by Owen McLaughlin. He lets Lyndon Swaby go by. Sorry to interrupt you there, John. They were down the Conrad Straight. Now this is interesting. This was a battle for fourth. Let me check to make sure everyone's on the same pit strategy. That is a legitimate pass, and sure enough, they are. Yeah, I think they are on the same strategy there. So this is an interesting, this kind of pull over and go on by.
Well, go on by, but Owen has he's kind of turned up the wick there and following Swaby.
So we have our two leaders up in front, with Espinoza stalking Overbay, happy to race about a second behind him. They've got about 10 seconds on Zegers, who has no chance to get there.
Currently, Soup, they have about, just a little under 20 minutes left in this 45-minute race. So it's going to be interesting to see. Do they go a little bit longer and actually take less fuel, or do they come in now and take the same amount of fuel? They've got a 11-second lead over third place.
Well, John, I hate to break this to you, but if you leave your garage and you have to go to work and you need gas, you need the same amount of fuel to get there, whether you take it from the gas station that's a block away from your house or the one that's a block away from your work. So,
well, Espinoza doesn't think so, Soup. He's in right now.
So he's going to stop at the gas station. That's about halfway. He'll take enough fuel to get to the end. Came in before the tank was empty, we assume. Now he comes out. Now this is where Overbay's got to be careful. Overbay, you can't be out there feeling comfortable. This is the strategy my dad used to call the early peel, late reveal. A driver peels off for a pit stop early, you forget about him. What's revealed later? Hey, he's out in front. So Overbay has to keep an eye on Espinoza. They'll be racing each other, even though they are separated by many seconds.
Now, the Ohio driver Overbay currently, he's got a good lead. Wondering what his strategy is going to be. Obviously, he knows Espinoza just went in that last lap. Does he stay out another 3 laps?
22 seconds is the bogey time between Overbay and Espinoza. File is in.
Mark File was in 7th position. Let's see if he relinquishes that once he gets back on the track. We got Montini behind him, but I believe Montini is 2 laps down. No, actually he's not. He's on the lead lap.
File rolls out in 7th. You see Montini in pit lane. Montini has been in there. A regular pit stop about 6 or 7 seconds. Montini has been in there for almost 30. Something going on with Francisco.
Yeah, I wonder if he opted for repairs.
Overbay decides to go around again, so the race continues between Overbay and Espinoza, separated by 22.4 seconds. Zegers makes his stop. Now, Zegers was running in 3rd. We expect Espinoza to comfortably pass him. In fact, there it is. Espinoza goes by.
26-second stop by Daniel Zegers.
Zegers pulls out in 3rd. About 40 seconds up on Lyndon Swaby. The race right now is between, and Swaby comes in first off. The race right now is between two drivers separated by 22 seconds. Michael Overbay putting in hot laps by himself. Espinosa in third. Overbay with the stop to make. Espinosa good to go to the end. Walker makes a stop. McLaughlin makes a stop.
Overbay really has nothing to lose here by pitting now. You're just kind of pressing the issue here. He's had a great run this evening, up 2 spots. Let's see if he pits this time by.
Well, the theory is the car is faster the lighter it is. The less fuel Overbay has in it, the faster Hills goes. Let's look at this battle with File. Walker
And
comes out.
Overbay's in the pits.
Walker came out ahead of File. Now Overbay is in. What we're going to do is look for Espinosa. Espinosa heading towards the chase right now. A quick left.
Espinosa with a 24.5
Right.
second complete stop there on his pit stop. Let's see what Overbay can do. Remember, they had a 1 second difference between
Overbay in
them.
his box. Espinosa is rolling. Overbay is rolling. Here they go. Now Overbay's going to get out on the track first. The question is, can he get that engine revved up? These F3s get up to speed pretty darn quick. I don't think it's going to be a case of momentum. Before the pit stop, Espinosa was 1.2 seconds behind. After the pit stop, he is about 1.2 seconds behind. So, as my mom said, it all comes out in the wash.
Yeah, Soup. Let's look at this comparison between Overbay and Espinosa. That is pretty dang close.
I almost think these guys know what they're doing. All the pit stops are done. Let's take a quick run through the field. We can take our time as we have 14 minutes of racing to go. Up in front, I'll take the first 2 drivers. John, it is Michael Overbay. And about 0.7 of a second back, now this is the closest he's been, is Andres Espinosa. John, who's after them?
In third, we have Daniel Zeggers, the IT manager. And then outside in fourth, we've got Lyndon Swaby, up 17 positions.
Continue to look at those. The leaders stay about 0.7 of a second apart. Fifth position, Owen McLaughlin. Nobody really around him. He's up 13 spots to be in fifth. John Walker, he does have a little bit of worry about. It's Joe Walker because he's got Mark File just about 2 seconds back. John, I went through 7th. Who you got in 8th?
Eighth, I've got Tyler Gore up 16 positions, a Canadian driver behind him. Another Canadian driver in Matthew Gunderson, up 10 spots in 9th position.
And then I believe that might be with Gunderson. Is Spicer still out there racing? He sure is, I guess. Oh, Oliveira's out there. Okay, we're going to, director, don't forget about Marco Oliveira. And then we have Spicer, I think, 2 laps down. All right. So we've ran through the field. I mispronounced a few first names, but it wouldn't be a GSRC broadcast without Soup butchering something. We go back to the lead. 0.8 of a second is the gap from Overbay to Espinosa. With apologies to the rest of the field, we're going to focus our attention for most of it, these final 12.5 minutes up front, as this is the closest battle and the most important battle.
Yeah, Andres is doing a great job. I think before we went down through the field there, he was about 1.2 seconds behind. Currently, he's 0.7 behind. So he's going through the mountain in the high-speed S's here, just kind of trying to keep his nose clean. It's going to be interesting to see when he's going to make that move, if he can make that move on our leader, Michael Overbay.
We ride on board with the driver in second. Looking up at Overbay, over Espinosa coming off that win last round, trying to make it 2 in a row. Only 2 battles on the track. The one we're looking at right now, the other one we'll keep an eye on, is between Jersey Joe Walker and Mark File. I have no idea if Joe Walker's from Jersey. It's just my boxing background coming to play.
Yeah, Mid-South, I'm thinking not Jersey.
Probably
Sid.
not. Probably not. Let's take a look at that director real quick. We can go to 6. I don't know if Walker's just playing with me here. Oh, no, I think he's going to make this move. Here he goes underneath. And the pass is made. Move File up into 6th. Walker back to 7th. And I don't think. Oh! And then Walker makes a mistake. We're going to watch the whole thing. Yeah, let's stay on him. We'll stay on him for a while because after the pass, Walker makes a little mistake that took this commentator's breath away.
All right, here's the pass right here on replay.
And we'll stay on it for a while and watch the blue car, as I think he got a little bit greedy. Wanted that spot back. In poker, this is called being on tilt. Wow! You lose a bad hand and you end up losing your entire bankroll on the next hand trying to make up for the injustice of the poker and the racing gods.
Interesting fact here, Soup. Joe Walker, not from Jersey, but pretty close. He's from Alabama.
Yeah. For all the South Americans watching the broadcast, that's only about 600-700 miles away. So.
It's like Wisconsin. You
Yeah,
zip in, you zip out.
Overbay up in front. You know what? I'm beginning to think Espinosa may not have anything for Overbay. I was thinking that Espinosa was just kind of biding his time and stalking it. I think it might be a case of Overbay minding the gap. Just every time Espinosa gets there, Overbay seems to say, all right.
Well, he turned his fastest lap that last lap. So you may be right, Soup.
So with Mark File getting around Joe Walker, there are only 7 cars on the lead lap. Tyler Gore's a lap down. Gore, Gunderson, Oliveira, 8th, 9th, and 10th, all 1 lap down. Tip of the hat to Andy Spicer. Keep going, Andy.
Andy Spicer still holding on strong there.
Well, he was able. He vultured a spot from Francisco Montini when Montini had an issue that we didn't see. 11 cars out there. There's plenty of time for Spicer to pick up a few more. There he is. There's Andy. My new favorite driver.
The Maryland driver. Andy's a technology and product development manager.
All right, now you
two
have
sons, 22 and 26. I'm a stalker, Soup. I just Google people right now.
I know you love your.
I've actually pulled. Yeah, I pulled you up. Should we share that with our audience?
It's okay. Wait till the restraining order's clear. Overbay, 8 seconds up now on Espinosa. 8/10 of a second. Sorry, learn my decimal system. Since I talk about that, now it opens up to another half second. Now it's 1.4 just from the little time I did that. Interesting. I think Espinosa might be good up the mountain, not so good down the mountain.
Yeah, and that tells me he's running a higher downforce car than Overbay is, because Overbay does pull him on the long straights. We see a top speed there that's about 5 mile an hour difference between Overbay and Espinosa.
Yeah, a car that's good straight line here is great if you can get it to the end. Personally, I've had cars that are fast, that are really good, but they don't have the downforce, and I never seem to finish with them. I have to have a slower car that'll get me up and down the mountains reliably. That might be fun to watch. Let's go ahead. We'll watch the leaders, as there's only just a tick under 7 minutes of racing to go. We'll watch the interval between the Overbay and Espinosa as they go over Mount Panorama. That thin ribbon of concrete. Let's go ahead and sit in the cockpit of the driver in second.
actually, Andre Espinoza currently resides in Washington, D.C. So that
Ah.
may explain his good internet connection.
Okay, well now he has knocked off 0.3 of a second. You can see the interval there. Check it out. The little number between the two drivers. Down to under 0.8 of a second now. And closing. This is what we thought. Good up the hill. He knocks off another 1/10. Looking to get it to 0.6. Now they come over the crest. And this is where he loses time.
If he can get on Overbay's back gearbox going down the hill, he may actually have a shot of passing him next time going through the mountain.
He's within a second. He is about 0.3 of a second closer than he was last time. Don't know if he's getting any kind of help with the draft from that far back. He's able to maintain pace there.
I tell you what, next time by, I'd like to see if we can get up the difference between their mile per hour going down that hill there. Actually, if we can keep it on for a full lap, we can maybe see where Espinoza is strong.
I like that idea. We're going to match. We're going to look at their speeds and we'll see how they play. Now, remember, there's a bit of an accordion effect. So you see the lead car will be faster sooner, but when they get on the straight, they should be pretty much similar. Here they come at you. Love that Dougie Beard low camera shot. The interval a tick over a second.
Yeah, Overbay just kind of pulled him about 7 thousandths there on that straightaway. But this is where Espinoza is strong. So let's watch here.
Just a tick over 4 minutes of racing to go. The problem is Espinoza is fastest in the part where you cannot pass. Once again, he has it under a second.
And he gained he gained a 1/10 there through those high speeds.
Yep, here he comes. He's closing in 0.7 of a second. This is as close as we've seen him. He's really got to force the issue here, push the issue. Lap traffic could be a factor. Who is it? Andy Spicer. Are they going to get to Andy before they get to Forest Elbow? They might. No, Andy's going to try to get the car out of the way. Andy clears Forest Elbow. Should not be an issue. Spicer will find a spot and keep the car going straight. The interval back to Espinoza is under a second. This is the closest he has been so far. Look at Espinoza. Get up behind Spicer and just run him down, trying to get any bit of draft you can from that slower car. The closest Espinoza has been for a long time, since the pit stop. Through the chase. Now, you come up to the intersections here. You got this 90-degree Murray's Corner. One more 90 degrees. They cross the finish line. This should be this and one more lap to go, I would think.
I think
John, this is the closest Espinoza has been.
Yeah, and it's coming up to the part where him and his car come alive. So if Andre can just get on the back of that gearbox coming out of 17, going down that hill, he may have a shot at this.
Two laps ago, he was about 1.2 seconds behind. Last lap, he was about a second behind. He's got it down to 0.8 of a second. He won't be able to make the pass, but he needs to close up and be close enough that he can be in the toe up the down the Conrad Straight.
I think they may get the white flag this time.
Yeah, I think you're on the money with that one. We can stop talking about the intervals in time. We can start doing it by car lengths. It's about 8 car lengths right now.
Right here is where Andre just struggles to get off that corner, but he's actually maintaining the gap with Overbay. Right,
Got it under a second. The car just will not go for him as Overbay continues to inch away ever so slightly. They come up here to the final corner.
Hell's
Second to the
Corner.
last time they'll see this one. Yep.
Let's see
From
what
here-
we can do down the straightaway going into 2.
From
He's
here,
currently 9/10.
from here on out, Espinosa will get one more bite of each of the 23 corners that are the apples here.
Final
At
lap,
Bathurst.
Soup.
0.7 of a second. If he's going to make the pass, I don't know where he's going to hit. I think he might have to force this up the mountain. 'Cause I'm not sure he has this. I'm not sure he has the oomph to get it done when they have the foot to the floor.
I think you're right.
And I'm not sure
Currently,
he's.
Daniel Zeggers is still back there in third, 21 seconds behind these guys. So Espinosa, if he's gonna make a run, Soup, like you said, he's got to do it now.
There is
Zeggers
Zeggers.
having a great evening. Lyndon Swaby still having a great shot at fourth, up 17 positions. He's coming across the line for his final lap.
He's 3 car lengths behind now. Boy, he was really close as they went through that twisty section, but now Espinosa lost a ton of time. To Forrest Elbow for the final time. Just a tick under 0.9 of a second. Maybe he can make a shot at it through the chase. Maybe he can try it through the final corner with the Murrays. But right now, Overbay continues to stretch the gap as he has done so many times this race. Working lap number 23 is Michael Overbay. A little left and a little right through the chase. One more 90-degree left-hander to do, and then it's the checkered flag and the win for Michael Overbay. Andres Espinosa has nothing for him. Give round number 5 to Michael Overbay. Andres Espinosa will have to settle for second. You saw Daniel Zeggers. There he is, John.
Yep. It's coming out of 20, 21, 22 here. Coming down to the final corner, 23. Again, great points night for Daniel Zeggers. Coming across the line in third position. Podium finish.
Swaby up 17 positions. Oliveira is another. We have a battle for ninth. Let's look at this one. This is Oliveira. These cars are a lap down. Now ahead of him is Tyler Gore. Tyler Gore through the chase. He's going to get 8th. Oliveira trying to hang on to 9th. And here comes Gunderson for 10th. Those 3 cars a lap down. They're going to negotiate Murray's, and that's the order they will finish in.
Here comes
And
Lyndon
then we get
Swaby coming
get
out
to
of the
Swaby.
final quarter. Coming across the line in 4th position. Great night by Lyndon Swaby.
Swaby up 17 spots, but because of Soup's religion, I cannot award the hard charger because he did not put in a qualifying time. Owen McLaughlin is up, is going to finish 13 spots up as he comes across the line. Our hard charger tonight is going to be Mark File, 16 spots up, 22nd to 6th. As File completes his final lap, as does Joe Walker, 7 cars on the lead lap. We're going to go to break, but we don't go far. We'll be back to talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. Back in a few.
of the best sim racers, $100,000 on the line. Who will rise to the challenge? This is the most competitive and sought-after season in iRacing World Championship history. This is where legends are made. This is the Porsche Esports Super Cup.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the Global SimRacing Channel's coverage of the Precision Racing League's Formula 3 Championship, Season 15, round number 5 from Mount Panorama. The results are in. Let's go ahead and give those to you right now. Well, it wasn't quite wire to wire as the leaders were taken out early, the front row, as there was issues with Kevin Santana, who got taken out early by Jefferson Padovani. So that opened the door for Michael Overbay to pick up the win as he held up Andres Espinosa the entire race. Espinosa having settled for second. Strong run for Daniel Zegers. He gets the final podium spot. Lyndon Swaby avoided an issue where cars were bouncing in front of him. He brings it home in fourth. Rounded out your top 5, it is Owen McLaughlin. 2 more cars on the lead lap. That would be Mark Feil and Joe Walker. They battled for a while. Feil able to pull away in the end. You saw the 3-car battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Tyler Gore, Marco Oliveira, and Matthew Gunderson. And then we get down to the driver that is the star of the show in my book, John. Who do you got in 11th?
Well, it's your driver there, Soup. Andy Spicer up 4 positions. Yeah, outside of him, Francisco Montini in 12th. In 13th, Takeshi Kita, the Samurai, unfortunately dropped out during the middle of the race. Don't know if it was due to internet connection or possibly the incident cap limit. In 14th, Daniel Barnett. 15th, Ronald McManus and Christian Gritzko finishing 16th. Danny Duchesne in 17th, Aaron Webb in 18th. David Cristelli in 19th, and Charles Sumner rounding out the top 20.
In blackjack, it was David Holland, Jay Steffi in the double duck spot. Kevin Santana started on the pole. You know what happened to him? He has to settle for 23rd. Boy, not the race he was hoping for. Jerome Bethune in the 24th spot with Jefferson Padovani behind him. David Habert, Nicholas Short, and Eric Luke round out your 28-car field. All right, do we have anybody in the interview? We're looking down there. We got our winner, Michael Overbay. Michael, congratulations. Things went your way after that very first corner. You found yourself out in front. Took it home from there.
Yeah, that was an eventful race. I mean, from that first quarter, I was like, "This is going to be a good battle." And then I saw Jefferson got his wheels out there on the grass and got loose and took out Kevin on that, and then it was kind of just manage the race, the rest of the race.
When did you know that Jefferson was going to be in trouble? You saw him out there. Did you just had to point the car in the direction it was going and hope they cleared, right?
I saw it as soon as he entered. He was entering in wide, so I knew I was going to cut it tight because I knew something was happening, and so I could come back to the left side and miss it all and pray that they wouldn't come back across the track and hit me.
Let's talk pit strategy. Espinosa stalking you the whole time. He came in about 2 laps earlier. You decided to stay out. How come?
Yeah, I saw that the guy I was catching, I was going to end up catching him on the straight, so I did. That was my decision to stay out because I think he probably pitted because he was going to catch him in a corner. So that's what it looked like to me. So I knew that's why he was going in, and I think I took just, thank goodness, the right amount of fuel because I had a slow pit entry. I didn't practice it at all, and came in really slow. Thought I was going to lose the lead because of it, but thank goodness we kept it out there.
Correct me if you think I'm wrong on this one, but we thought that Espinosa was quicker on the twisty sections up, especially going up the mountain, but had nothing for you on the straight as far as straight line speed came.
Yeah, he was quicker going up the hill. I was quicker going down the hill, and I was quicker on the straight. He would catch me in the last corner, in the first corner, and then going up the hill. So we had opposite part of the track the whole time, and I don't know if he was taking it easy too. I know I was. I'm pretty sure he was too, just to try to keep it clean. I'm kind of pushing, but still just keeping it safe.
Yeah, one mistake here. There's no coming back from a mistake in Bathurst on an open wheel car. One mistake, your day is done, right?
Yeah, Tim, I'd like to say thanks, if you don't mind, to Alpine Stars, Geodesic Racing, sponsored by GoPro, and Shady Ray Sunglasses, and Turn Racing is our new sponsor for their wheels. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you guys too. It's hopefully the rest of the season's goes my way too, because I think we're in a points lead now.
You are in the hunt. All right, congratulations, Michael Overway, with the win. John, who you got?
I am with last week's winner, Andre Espinosa Dex, coming home second tonight. Dex, how How was that race?
It was intense to say the least.
Yeah, we were, obviously we had that big wreck in turn one on the first lap, took out Padavani and Santana. We had the camera on you most of the evening between you and Overbay, and Soup just got done talking with him. You seem to be really strong going up into the mountains and through the high speed S's, but coming down, you that's where you seem to lose him. Is that what you saw?
Yeah, it was a hard balance between risking and waiting for a mistake. As you know, every time you get in the draft, especially going down the hill, you lose so much front aero. So it was very risky to get closer. I was trying or hoping for a mistake from him, but he definitely raced flawlessly. Congrats to him and Daniel for the podium.
Yeah, we were talking during the broadcast that maybe one of you guys were using a medium downforce and the other one possibly using the high downforce. What did you decide to go with, Andre?
I can't give it away. But definitely I was on the lower downforce side, so it was definitely super risky every time I got close.
We understand that. Don't want to give away your trade secrets here live. Um, Coming off that win last weekend, certainly a great points evening considering the mayhem that we had on that first corner. How do you feel going into the next race?
I'm excited. Repeating just a little bit about last week, I'm finally getting the hang of the car. I'm feeling good in it, and I'm just happy to.
Well, good deal. Hopefully, you'll enjoy some drone racing later this weekend. And great finish again. That's Andre Espinoza, your second place finisher.
Thank you.
There you go. And we're going to wrap it up with an interview with our third place finisher today, Daniel Zegers. First of all, Daniel, let me get the correct pronunciation of your last name. We're going to go with Zegers. How'd I do?
Zegers is perfect, man. 100% Dutch.
All right, let's go ahead and talk about the very, very beginning of the race. First of all, you had the driver in front of you, Padavani. I thought he might have jumped the start. I don't know if you even were paying attention to that. Did you think he jumped the start on that, or did you even notice?
I was watching the lights, but I don't know, from what I saw, I thought we all got off pretty clean.
Okay,
But then,
let's go
coming
through
down,
the first corner. Yeah,
oh my goodness, talk about a tense moment. Had a really fast car in qualifying. I was really just running a setup that would keep me planted most of the race. Coming into turn one, not wanting to make too many risky moves right away. Then all of a sudden, the leaders are spinning, and about that point, it's like I was already on the low side, which thankfully was the good side. And then from there,
right.
it was more just kind of getting a groove and
Well,
had a
even after the incident, you were like boxed in down the straight going into corner number 2 on that very first lap. You guys were really close together.
yeah, and thankfully I can't remember who was in second there, whether it was Espinoza or Andres. Because one of us got out. I think it was him that got out of the gas. Thankfully, I think I had a nose on him. He was in the inside line, so I was kind of expecting him to get out of it,
Yeah,
not being in the preferred line. And I knew he was quick, and I threw the mountain section and back down. And like he said, he was running maybe a little lower downforce where I was real safe. He gets me on the long back stretch, and from there, just trying to get the tires settled in, and then I feel like I could have had the pace up there with those front guys once I got 5 or 6 seconds back. I was thinking to myself, back to fourth place, it was, I don't know, 12 or 14 seconds at that point after a lap or two. And it was like, I could push it, really risk it, and maybe catch the guys up front. But then it was like, you know what? I'm just going to sit back, relax, still drive the car decently hard, but nothing too outrageous.
Right, a third place car home in third place, I think is what you did. Congratulations, nice job, good points day for you.
You bet. Thanks everything for you do, guys. You guys do a fantastic job. Glad to be a part of it.
Thanks a lot. Daniel Zegers, your final podium finisher here today. That's going to do it for us at the Global SimRacing Channel, coming your way on IESN. Let's go ahead and thank the people that make this possible. How about the good guys at Apex Button Box? Remember, anybody finished in the top 8 gets put in that drawing. And remember what Soup told you, crinkle up that ticket before you put it into the hopper. IESN also coming your way, the best of the best on the iRacing Esports Network right here. Thanks to the companies that provide the software and hardware for our broadcast. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen to how to get a hold of her for more great work. Thanks to the team. That would be John, Joe, and Dougie. Yes, that's not right. That would be who's with me here today. It's me, John, and Sean, and Dougie. Got to update that part. If you'd like more information about us, I can do this by memory. How about globalsimracingchannel.com? We're also on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel. Check us on Instagram at GSRC_Graham. And the next race for us would be round 6 coming up. That's going to be at Monza. That's a week from today, August 1st, 9 p.m. Eastern. So, also, if you haven't done so yet, become a subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. So finally, with all that out of the way, it's time for us to go have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.